Cindy Cisneros, owner of Creatively LLC, and this is the Create 1 Minute Cast, episode 130. And today we're going to talk about pressure for creative people. And specifically, I want to respond to an article that I read recently on artsy.net, and this was authored by Daniel Kunitz. And it's not a new article, it's a few years old, but I'm going to tag it in the related materials to this post so you can read the article that I'm referring to if you're interested. But this is related to things that I say to creative people, and I found it very intriguing, and so I thought it was worth discussing. So the idea that was discussed in this article, and there's different research studies that are used for context and to kind of bring up the idea that Daniel Kunitz gives you. So if you're interested in looking at some of that research, please go and look at the article, because I don't go back over it again since Daniel Kunitz does such a good job, is that the relationship between stress and creativity. So he's talking about research that's been done before and statements that have been made about this pressure and the stress on creative people and its impact on creativity and creative output. And where he kind of gets to is that it really is a matter of perception of the creative person on if the thing or event is stressful and how stressful that thing is, because it's not the same thing for the same people. But also that level of intensity is going to vary, of stress, is going to vary from person to person. So as an artist, what's important for you, as a creative person, what's important for you are a couple of things, is knowing your optimal stress level. For example, some people work very well under pressure. Some people need very little pressure in order to perform very creatively. And again, we're back to kind of this place where psychology and creativity and a lot of human sciences are coming back to right now, where things are on this spectrum and they're not in these specific bracketed places. And this is another one of those things that we're talking about, which is human stress levels. What is your optimal stress level for creative performance? Where on that spectrum is it? And then also, secondly, what is the context of your stressors? What are stressful things for you? And we need to let go of these definitions of traditional definitions of this is a good stressor, this is a bad stressor, because those are not uniquely applied to everybody. They are different for everybody. There are things that may be accepted to some people as good stressful things or bad stressful things that do not apply to you in the same way. So spending some time identifying to you, for example, social events, is that a stressful thing? Is that a recharging thing? We know that these are different for everybody. Tidying up, these are things that are stressful. Clutter, these are things that are stressful, not stressful for everybody. How do things contribute to you in stressful or non-stressful ways? And spend some time understanding that for yourself. And then once you understand what your optimal stress level is, what the contributing factors are, then how can you mitigate your stress level so that when you feel that your creativity is blocked by stress or lack of stress, if you're somebody who works very well when the stress is turned up because you feel like you have pressure to push you, and that's what you're discovering through this process, because we're not saying one or the other is true. We're saying it's important for you to understand the relationship for yourself. Then how can you mitigate where you're experiencing that stress or pressure in your life? And that could mean turning that volume of pressure up or down. And that's going to involve knowing yourself as a creative person, which is how you experience emotions as a creative person. We know that these are very intense. The importance of the meaningfulness and the perspective and the authenticity and the roles that those play in your life as a creative person. It also means understanding yourself as an artist, the work you do, the creative processes that you have, the art world that you're invested in or not invested in or want to be, or things that you are inclined to or not inclined to. And so going back through these things again, it's knowing your optimal stress level, high, low, in the middle on a spectrum. the context of things that are stressful or pressure to you, how to mitigate that level, and then knowing yourself as a creative person and as an artist as a starting point for these factors, and looking at this in a new kind of fluid way, taking away some of the old labels that we may have attached of good, bad, high, low, and what this may have impacted creativity, knowing that each individual has their own needs when it comes to pressure and stress and context of these things, and how to change those for their optimal creativity. So open it up for yourself. Spend some time there thinking about that. I'm going to, like I said, cite the original article that sets the stage for some of the things that I've talked about here. I thought that the research was laid out really nicely. And I'm going to explain a little bit of my thought process as it relates to the creativity counseling and coaching things that I do with my clients. And please spend some time here, because I think that this is a really great thought tank. Is that what I want to say? I don't know. Thinking space and growing space for you as a creative person and for you as a creative artist. Okay. Hope that was helpful. Bye.